The presidential elections in Senegal has just been concluded, and one thing is clear for all to see. How the elections was conducted in a free and fair manner despite the high-handedness by the outgoing president Macky Sall to stifle the opposition and suppress the will of the people. It is obvious that democracy won the day on the 24th of March 2024 after the results were announced. The opposition, led by 49-year-old former tax inspector and leader of African Patriots of Senegal for Work, Ethics and Fraternity, simply referred to as PASTEF or Patriots of Senegal, founded in 2014. With the growing demand for change and the increasing popularity of Ousmane Sonko, especially among young Senegalese who see him as an anti-establishment figure and a symbol of hope for those frustrated by high cost of living and lack of economic opportunity for the teeming youthful population. Ousmane Sonko was arrested on the 28th of July 2023 on allegations of disturbing the public order, which was seen by many Senegalese as trumped-up charges. And thereafter, 33 days later, the Patriot of Senegal political party was banned by the Senegalese government, leading to even more protests, with over a dozen people killed. Given the uncertainty about the candidacy of Ousmane Sonko, Patriots of Senegal, or PASTEF, endorsed Bassirou Diomaye Faye, who was also detained along with Mr. Sonko. Mr. Diomaye and Sonko were later released a few days before the presidential election, with Diomaye Faye now running as an independent candidate with the slogan, Diomaye is Sonko. The incumbent president, Mr. Macky Sall, attempted to postpone the election, citing unresolved dispute and widespread protest as his reason for the postponement of the election. But his decisions were annulled by the Constitutional Council, which will now lead us to the crux of the discussion, that the institutions in Senegal are much more independent and less corrupt in comparison with similar institutions in Nigeria. After conclusion and counting of the results, Diomaye Faye received over 53% of the vote cast. The incumbent Prime Minister Amadou Ba trailed behind with 35% of the vote to come in second place. You can see the joy and celebration on the streets of Dakar and every other major city in Senegal, that the will of the people, especially the young people of Senegal, that voted in their large numbers. Senegalese should be proud of their electoral system and the officials that conducted the election for allowing the will of the people to be heard loud and clear. Unlike Nigeria, that could not conduct a free and fair and credible presidential elections on February 25th, 2023. In any thriving democracy, strong institutions backed by the rule of law are intangible assets that are needed to support the democratic process and also give confidence to the people that they have the final say in determining who governs them. This is where comparison between the electoral system in Nigeria and that of Senegal comes into scrutiny. Take a look at the excitement, the jubilation on the streets of Dakar after the final results were announced, and compare it with the despair on the faces of Nigerians, especially the young Nigerians, after the final results were announced for the presidential elections in 2023. The disappointment, sadness, frustration, and total loss of confidence in the electoral process was clear. The National Autonomous Electoral Commission, SENA, of Senegal, having conducted the free and fair elections, can proudly say that they are truly autonomous and by every metric of measurement proclaim that they are better than their Nigerian counterpart, INEC, led by Professor Yakubu Mahmoud. Nigeria is a laughingstock all over the world for their inability to conduct free and fair elections, in turn, which has led to the exit of foreign investment out of the country, with repercussions as we have now seen in the decline in the value of the Nigerian currency called the naira, increase in poverty with untold hardship and high level of insecurity across the country. Oh yes, rigged elections have consequences, as we are now seeing in the case of Nigeria. When a politician rigs his or her way to power, he will never be accountable to the people because he never won through the mandate given by the people, but through a political godfather or corrupt electoral and judicial system that will definitely give rise to embezzlement of public funds, padding of budgets, nepotism, and inflated government contracts to those who facilitated their coming to power through the back door. Take a look at the just concluded elections in Senegal. There were no snatching of ballot boxes, no use of thugs to beat up voters at polling units, no falsification of results by staff of the Electoral Commission in order to declare winners as losers and losers as winners. If Nigeria is ready to reclaim the moral standing in West Africa as the giant of Africa, not just by mere words, but by taking the lead in the conduct of free and fair elections, and that the political elites wakes up from their slumber, then they can have it no other way but to start planning towards conducting free and fair elections, so that the dividends of democracy that can only be derived through a credible electoral system is achieved, that the right leaders are elected by the people. Nigeria is in a mess, confronted with all kinds of challenges due to bad governance. It is true, from insecurity caused by Boko Haram and banditry in the northern part of the country to oil theft in the Niger Delta region in the south and secessionist movement in the east of the country, all aggravated by a poor performing economy with high level of unemployment and overwhelming poverty. Nigeria cannot afford to do as usual. It must now begin to chart a new trajectory that will project it back into the spotlight for all the good reasons, as in the case of Senegal, that is currently enjoying all the praise and applause for setting the pace in West Africa in the conduct of free, fair, and credible elections. Do you think Nigeria can learn from Senegal in the conduct of credible elections? Or will it be business as usual? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do not forget to like and subscribe as a way of supporting our work as we collectively profile a new blueprint to make Africa great again. Thanks.